Glasgow East. Finding a candidate for a seat where a Labour-sponsored Christmas pudding could have been sent to Parliament isn't normally a protracted business, but it's a by-election and it's widely expected to be decisive for Gordon Brown. If Labour does badly, those party members currently trying to feel his pulse are expected to start trying to feel his collar. Our political editor, Michael Crick, is there.
In a climate of financial squeeze and economic downturn, the minds of voters in a rundown inner-city seat like this are bound to turn to matters close to home. How to make ends meet, the fear of crime. Problems especially acute north and east of Celtic football ground, in the ward of Parkhead. This is one of the most deprived and poor council wards in the whole of Britain. The average male life expectancy in the Parkhead ward is below 63. That's 13 years less than the UK national average. And the number of people in the adult working age population without a job is more than 50%. Things aren't much better in the rest of the Glasgow East constituency. Labour's naturally under fire for this state of affairs, but defending a whopping 13,000-plus majority. Still with no candidate, though, they were out this afternoon, on the doorsteps and at the intercoms.
Good stuff. And can I ask if you've decided how you're likely to vote? No.
They've had 10 days of turmoil in which party bigwigs seem to have offered the job to as many as 5 different people, 4 of whom said no. But some people say, well, you chickened out, you were frightened that you were going to lose. That would destroy your reputation.
Well, Labour have a fantastic reputation in this city, and particularly in this part of the city.
Well, that's not what other people say. They say this part of the city, you know, it's one of the most deprived parts of Europe. I mean, some of the worst life expectancy and some of the worst employment rates in this constituency. That's nothing to be proud of.
Well, you know, people remember why that happened in the 1980s under a Tory government. Places like this were ignored and destroyed. And what we've been doing as a party in government over the last decade is changing the face of constituencies like this.
The SNP man, John Mason, 10 years a Glasgow councillor, needs a 22% swing, not unknown in by-elections. And his leader, Scottish First Minister Alex Salmond, today spoke of causing a political earthquake.
I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years and...
Mr Mason promises to be full-time if elected. Clearly a dig at the woman Labour were due to pick, who already has one job as an MSP in the Scottish Parliament. Mr Salmond, Michael Crick from Newsnight, your candidate's just committed himself to being a full-time MP. Shouldn't you make the same commitment to your constituents? After all, you've got 2 jobs, one in the Scottish Parliament and one at Westminster, when a lot of people around here haven't got any job.
Well, the people in the north east of Scotland passed a verdict on that, Michael, both in 2005, when I said what I was doing to stand as First Minister of Scotland, and in 2007, last year, when the people of Gordon and in both cases elected me, and in both cases elected me with huge swings and huge majorities.
To launch his campaign, David Cameron chose a local church of St Jude, patron saint of hopeless causes. And they'll need a miracle here, given the Tories came a poor 4th last time, with less than 7%.
Morning all. Morning. Morning, Michael.
Morning. Coming here to save your deposit, Mr Cameron?
Coming here to get as many votes as we can for this excellent Conservative candidate. We've been out on the streets. After you, please. Yeah.
But St Jude is the patron saint of lost causes.
Well, that's probably why Newsnight have decided to come and join us.
Well, you come here.
Right, we're going this way.
Davina Rankin will need a saintly miracle here, given the Tories came a poor 4th last time, with less than 7%. But her leader stresses the wider picture.
When you look at the Labour Party situation, you know, no leader in Scotland, no candidate in the by-election, a Prime Minister who won't visit the constituency, it does seem completely rudderless, leaderless and shambolic. And that is bad enough for people in Glasgow East who've got this by-election that they didn't expect, but for the rest of the country it's even more tragic. This government is just sort of falling apart in front of us.
The Lib Dems, 3rd at the last election, face being squeezed too. though they insist that their man, local teacher Ian Robertson, is the real threat to Labour and not the SNP. Isn't this really a fight between you and the Conservatives for fourth place?
No, not at all. We were third place at the last election, only about 1,600 votes behind the SNP. So the Labour vote is crumbling. We've heard that already today from a number of people. They're just not going to vote for Labour. So when their vote crumbles, it could go anywhere.
Such hopes were raised by this shopkeeper, who actually holds a Labour Party card.
So, Mr Hamid, this is your Labour Party membership card,
yes.
And yet here on the desk you've got Liberal Democrat leaflets. Has something gone wrong here?
Well, no, what hasn't gone wrong, I will continue to believe in Labour that I believe in. They have lost complete touch with the grassroots. Instead, they're just, as long as I'm all right, Jack, they're happy to keep themselves in power now that they know that they're going to get a bloody nose, and I hope that they do. I'll continue to be a Labour Party member, but I want them to register my displeasure with how badly I feel about the way that they've run this country for the past 10 or 15 years.
An hour or so ago, Labour finally endorsed the latest name blessed by the party high command, Margaret Curran.
I am honoured to be nominated to fight this seat for the Labour Party in the East End of Glasgow.
Picked by a remarkable 46 votes to just 2. Ms Curran carries a huge burden, though. Her success or failure could go well beyond Glasgow in what might be the biggest by-election in a generation.